Hey there YouTube. So as you can see, quite a few pellets here, spent pellets. I usually clean my back patio a couple times a month, well, at least once a month, and try to collect up all the pellets that I use in my target practice. And there's literally hundreds in here. I mean, if you know how many a tin holds, this is way more than 500 right here. And my wife got fed up with it, and she urged me to get a pellet trap, and I said, okay, I will, honey. I'll clean up the back and I'll get a pellet trap. And so I got a pellet trap. Here it is, the Gamo Bone Collector pellet trap. It's just pretty much, they just put a old pellet trap, old design, and they put the Bone Collector backyard pellet trap logo on it. Nothing fancy, it just has that logo. No added bonus. Comes with 100 free sheets of targets. So let's open this guy up and see how they expect this to set up. So right off the bat, you have what looks to be a post. The steel's decent. It's like 22 gauge, not even 16 gauge. So right off the bat, I'm not sure how confident I am in it. Maybe for my 2240. Sure. The inside is a big box, and these are the targets. Yep, about 100 sheets of paper in there, and they're just standard paper targets. It's like double layer paper, you know, so that it's a little more stiff. It can slide into the, I guess, into the catch there and stay. They're not shoot and see targets, so nothing fancy. Just construction paper with a target on it. Here are instructions on how to set up your. So some assembly required, or all assembly required. All right. I'm hoping the body is a little stiffer than this stuff. This metal right here. The rating on this says up to 1,000 feet per second, and lead pellets only. So no alloy pellets, no steel tip. So the Crossman gold tip is out of the question. The Gamo rocket's out of the question. Please stop. Do not return this product to the store. So you're not supposed to return this product to the store. I get to send it back to the manufacturer. Okay, so there's not some fold-out one. This is 4 pieces, identical. They look to be all of them. And once again, it's pretty much 22 gauge steel. Not too confident in its ability so far. Unless I get to unscrew this right here. I don't know if you put it on the outside or the inside, so that's why you have these instructions. Let's see. So, looks like it goes on the inside of each one. Yep. So it overlaps. So first, detach these. The screws are welded in place. These are supposed to be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detach all of them, because I'm a genius, and geniuses don't follow the steps exactly. I'm gonna detach all of them. Now it's locked into place. You see, this is meant to guide any pellet that hits any of these walls down into the chute, and once it hits that chute, it shoots it down into the trap, and the trap is pretty much closed off at the bottom, and is meant to be just one single bolt holding it up to any item that you put a bolt on. So then here is the. You don't have to bolt this thing up, but it is recommended. So let's pull up one of these. And thus completes the assembly, unboxing and assembly of the Gamo Bone Collector pellet trap. Like I said, this, if they use 16 gauge steel, I would be a little more confident, because you saw what I did to that 16 gauge steel with my Benjamin Titan with that alloy pellet. Put a fat dent in it. I'm pretty sure if I shot the same spot twice, it would have zipped right through. So, yep. All right. So hopefully now this thing keep my backyard, my back patio, it's a little more clean. For this test, I used the piranhas. Well, that's the Crossman piranhas, and they're not very accurate. And, well, for this test, I wasn't going for accuracy. So I used my 2240. These Crossman piranhas are flying roughly at 460 feet per second. And I pretty much shot it all over the place. For one, it's easier to count the pellets if they're not in the same hole. And two, I wanted to see what this pellet trap could actually take. Could it take shots to the side? Will it work? Will it angle those pellets in towards the trap? I wasn't sure, so I wanted to test it out and give it a full, solid review. Now, remember, I used my 2240 for this one, so it wasn't the strongest. Not even rated for. This is half the speed it's rated for. So, here's the results, and enjoy. So, counting the holes and the amount of pellets that we've actually captured, which, as you can see, not all of them made it in there, and this thing already has some major damage done to it back here. It's already got a lot of damage done to it, and it's out of 2240. All right, so let's see. It's sad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 rounds, which is how many I fired. 10 magazines. 2 magazines, 10 rounds apiece. Okay, that's what was in the actual base here, but not what's in the trap. See, let's keep them separate. So we see what made it into the trap and what didn't. And we'll go over the damage done to the pellet trap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of 20 that hit the paper, obviously hit here and went in, 17 are what got captured by this pellet trap here, and only less than half of them, 8 out of 17, were where they're supposed to be in the trap. The other ones were just hanging out behind the paper. So the majority of them hanging out behind the paper. 9 of them total. Yep, 9 in total. 17 in total for all of them. This thing has sustained some serious damage. You can see it's already warped the metal. A lot of dents. Those were direct hits in the middle. I shot a few in the middle and a few on the outside. The ones on the outside not bad, just a few stains, no actual denting going on, which is good, but it's still very sad that that one piece of metal back there was not only dented, but it was folded. It got pushed back hard enough to be folded by my little 2240, pushing these pellets out at an average speed of 460 feet per second. Alright, 460. And this is supposed to be for a 1,000 feet per second lead pellet trap. Now, I could see one pellet out of my Beeman firing it at, roughly 850, 900 feet per second. Actually, for these it'll be 900 feet per second. 900 feet per second, twice the speed. I could see it bending that thing all the way back till it hits the back stop right here. And then eventually folding it so high that it'll start making a hole in this backstop right here, because the direct hits are definitely having an effect on this thing. Look at that. Just look at it. That's sad. Broke the paint off the back, which I'm not too surprised about. I mean, that's bound to happen. It's just a little bit of paint, just a little covering on it. It's not too bad. But the damage, the physical damage done to that little flap that's supposed to, that guide, it's supposed to just guide the pellets down into the trap. It's at an angle. It wasn't like a actual direct hit. This thing was already angled, so that means not all the energy would be spent on this thing. It wasn't covering it 100% flat against the surface right here. It wasn't like, it wasn't just like a cover. It was already angled as a guide, and it still got bent back further than what it started with and dented like crazy. So unless it has an extreme angle like the walls here, this thing is going to get some serious damage. I don't know how well the walls will hold up against a stronger air rifle like the Beeman that's firing them out at 900 feet per second, and this thing says it's good for 1,000 feet per second. Like I said, this is pretty much 22 gauge steel right here. You guys saw the 16 gauge steel, and this thing's coated with paint, so it may not even be 22 gauge. It might be like 24 gauge, something a little weaker. You guys saw that 16 gauge, how I made that fat dent in it, and that was a 177. Not too sure about this pellet trap. I'll keep using it. I might have to reinforce it myself. Maybe get some 16 gauge steel or stronger, and reinforce the back there so it doesn't make a hole in it. Reinforce the walls here before you start denting up while it's still flush. Maybe put it on the inside. Maybe I'll mark out a line on some of the 16 gauge steel and magnetize it. But we use magnets or something to hold it up so as not to compromise the structural integrity of this already flimsy steel. So, not overly impressed. I mean, I guess it'll do the job for a while. Not for a long while, but for a short while, it'll do the job. As you can see, not all of them, from what you can see in the target here, were like in the middle. These right here were pretty much the ones. These 7, and those are, I'm pretty sure those are the 7 that wound up in the trap. The ones that hit the outside of the walls, they weren't guided into the pellet trap. So, and some of them didn't even make it in. Some of them just bounced right out. Probably bounced in and pushed this thing out a little bit, popped out the top there, and yeah. So, what kind of score will I give this thing? You know what, for maybe like a junior plinker, I mean, I'd say I wouldn't. I can't recommend it. I can't. I mean, if you have nothing else, and this is a little $14 pellet trap, and if you feel like reinforcing it and using it, I'm going to reinforce it because I already have it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to reinforce this thing and use it as a pellet trap. Maybe bend that thing back, try to bend that guide back into shape or something. Or just slide a rod down in here. It's just a thick, steel rod to help keep the pellets there. I don't know. We'll see how everything goes. I might reinforce it with just a a 90-degree angle braces right here, keep that steel from warping out. And maybe same right here, just put some sheets of steel to keep it on the inside there, and just magnetize, put magnets on the top. Magnets should be fine, the shock shouldn't really break them. So yeah, all right then, this is Doc Q signing out for today, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do wind up getting this thing, like I said, you might want to reinforce it before we start shooting at it, because you will, that thing will be so awkward to try to bend back into place and shoot. I mean, just to use it, you have to pull this guy out, pop it back out, fix it, reinforce it, and then keep going. So have fun, keep plinking, keep shooting, and know your local laws. That's all I gotta say. Later.